Hey e-moto fam, welcome to my channel. This is High Voltage, Buffalo, New York. My name is the Broski, and what we have today is a brand new 25 E-Ride Pro SS 3.0. We will be doing an assembly video, assemble all these little pieces and parts on the bike, and I will be doing a step-by-step guide for you guys, and hopefully that helps some people that want to modify their bike. So what we have is Warp 9 3-inch rise anodized gold bar. We have some new grips. We have a Warp 9 stem lock, and we got the stuff from Talaria Boys, TV Electric. We got an anodized gold display cover with all of the mounting brackets. We got the anodized gold front wheel spacers, and we also have from Titanium Suron some rear linkage parts. Also, you got to put these on your e-bike, man. Everyone's looking to snatch your ride. Definitely get yourself an air tag and an air tag holder and mount that onto your bike. So let's jump right into it. All right, I don't know if this is what we've all been waiting for, but this is what I've been waiting for. First impressions, like, beautiful. Let's open up our boxes and see what we got first. What do you guys say? So, looks like we have our front number plate, owner's manual, toolkit, I'm gonna guess. Let's see what we got. A nice little velvet bag, too. All right. What does it come with? Zip ties. All right. Nice little keychain. And looks like we got some washers, some bolts, and some nuts. All right, probably for the peg mounting. All right, and what do we have here? Our display. Beautiful. We'll set that in there for now for safekeeping. You know, one of the things that E-Ride Pro's done with these newer bikes is put nice size pegs on these e-motos. I mean, that's like one of the first things that you do as an e-moto rider. Whenever you get a new bike, you want to make sure that your feet are planted. You know what I mean? So, E-Ride Pro, they came out with some really nice wide platform type pegs. So that's exciting, you know. Anything to save you money afterwards. You know, obviously, you're going to want to customize this bike to your preferences, you know, just like I am with my preferences. But, you know, this is really cool that E-Ride Pro, you know, went the extra mile in this scenario. Beautiful. All right, so I guess let's put our fenders over here out of the way. All right, what do we got here? Okay, look at that. Nice little black. I guess we can. All right, so let's open our second box and see what kind of goodies is in there now. Ooh, all right. It's the charger, just like we thought it was going to be. It's got a little bit of weight to it. Yeah, that's serious right there. Very nice. All right, so first things first, let's get our battery on the charger. Make sure we've got a full charge for when we put this thing together all the way, and then we can have a fully charged battery. So first things first, let's see where our is. Right here in the ignition. Beautiful, nice, very nice. Now I want you guys to come over here and check this out. The connector that they use is just a nice beefy connector compared to the 2.0. That's beautiful. What are we doing here? Let's see. Okay, we got about 50% charge coming from the factory. So let's pull this out. Let's see, how hard is this gonna be? You know, it's difficult doing this with one hand. I'm gonna come back to you. Hold on. All right, so took some Jimmy in here. You know, E-Ride Pro really maximized the space that they had to get everything in here. They really packed it in here. My goodness. All right, well, that's something I had anticipated. Goodness. All right, she's out. Here we go. Pull everything to the side. Let's see, does it come up? Yeah, all right. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. 72 volt, 50 amp hour E-Ride Pro battery. Beautiful. Let's get this plugged in. Okay, so when we initially plug the charger in, it flashes green and red, and our charging point is on the left side of the battery. And here we go. fan kicked on, and we're flashing red. Excellent. What do you think, bro? Little bro? Rock and roll. All right, guys, let's see what we can do about getting this thing. Oh, all right, a little bit of pressure there, not too much. All right. I don't know what I was expecting. Hey guys, here is what our E-Ride Pro toolkit came with. Looks like a Phillips head, a 19, a 17, a 13, and it looks like 5 different Allen keys. So that's nice that E-Ride actually, you know, included those tools. All right, well, when around these handlebars, the key is to get them to run in line with your fork, if you can. And they have these nice, Warp 9 has these nice little marks so that you can accurately center these bars. And again, I got these from Talaria Electric, or Talaria Boys, tbelectric.com. I will try and put a link in the bio. All right, so now we've got our bolt just through. We've got our bolt through the rear brackets, and now let us get that front axle out. So you should probably not do this with an Allen key, but you know, do as John Hicks does, not as he says, right? I learned this from you, John Hicks. Beauteous. Beauteous. So as we're looking here, it looks like this is a little Allen key here, and it looks like these are little Phillies. So, all right, guys. I appreciate E-Ride Pro giving us the Phillips head screwdriver, but we're gonna use the trusty little zip gun here. Well, impact. So it's pretty self-explanatory. You know, if you guys really need instruction on taking out some screws, let me know if I should make another video. Easy. We'll set that here. Now with our E-Ride Pro tools, that is not the right one. That's what you get when you don't keep track of your tools. Okay, all right, let's try this one more time. Nice and easy, come right off. Excellent. And now when you do this, make sure you don't squeeze your brake lever, because you don't want your pistons and your brakes and your calipers to compress. However, E-Ride Pro does have a little shim in there until you are ready to put your front tire on, which is super convenient. Excellent. You can take this last, be very careful you don't nick any wires or hoses. That's nice. All right. Now, obviously the hand grips aren't on there yet, so just ever so slightly thread that in, give yourself some space, and just thread that on. All right. Now we can put this guy back on. Make sure you run this with the wire going behind your light. That's kind of important if you want your wires and stuff to line up nicely for your plate, for your number plate to go on. Again, I'm not tightening these down all the way until I get my grips on there, but we can just get it on there nice and loose. Make sure you go back and tighten everything up at the end. Okay, all right, we got that side on now. Let's mount our front brake as well. And our front brake is an Allen key. All right, that pops on there just like this. Grips on yet, and you're gonna want to see what's most comfortable for you, you know what I mean, in what position when you ride. Just get them on there so they're not going to be hanging all over the place, you know. All right, excellent, awesome. All right, and last but not least, this is the twist and go, the full twist throttle. Again, be super careful. Well, all right, so we've got her loosened up now. I'm gonna go ahead and loosen some of our connections here. And when mounting your throttle, you want to have it in as much as possible, but not touching, you know, you do not want your grips to be touching the end of your bar, because that's gonna mess with the fluidity of, you know, how your throttle reacts as far as going back in a full position. So you seat it in there and then tighten it down a little bit, and then just give it a little, you know, give it a little push so that the end isn't touching. You can probably feel with your hand whether it's touching or not on the inside, but easy to do. But let's tighten down our handlebars once more. Now again, when we're lining these up, we want them to Yeah, run right with. There we go. It's all about personal preference, but for me, I'm a bigger guy, so. All right, now let us put our front wheel on. What do you say? Okay. I like the fact that E-Ride added all these front brake line holders, because as you know, multiple videos throughout YouTube, you see Saronster did it. I believe John Hicks may have done it also as well. There was only one of these guys on and it went into the tire, but all right, so that's a great improvement. Now, this is pretty self-explanatory, but we're gonna loosen these, which we did when we took it out, so these are nice and loose. We are going to pull our brake pad spacers, as you see. That's just making sure that, you know, nothing, you can't, this is making sure that you don't squeeze your front brake and then your caliper is then closed. So we will take that out. All right, guys, so this is the front view of the bike so far. And what we're gonna do is put our front wheel on. So coming from the factory, E-Ride Pro, they have a zip tie up on your front brake lever with it closed, right? And in between the pads where your rotor would go, they have this nice little yellow spacer so that your calipers don't max out and close against each other. You would then have a hard time getting your front tire on. So as of now, it is time for our spacers. Now I have our spacers and I have E-Ride Pro's black spacers. I went with the anodized gold. I thought these were really cool. I got these from tbelectric.com. So what you're gonna do is, when you get your tire, it will have a zip tie with this plug. I think it was over here. And you're gonna wanna cut your zip tie, pull the plug before you put anything on. Obviously, take your front axle and lube it up really nice with some Maximum waterproof grease, as well as the ends of these guys. Just give it just a little, you know, dab will do you. A little bit goes a long way. And then put your spacers in just like that. And you should hear them click. Well, feel them click. So that's the first one. I'm gonna shut up for this next one so you guys can hear it seat in there. All right, ready? Here we go, guys. Ready? Did you hear it? Or maybe not. All right, so when you're putting this front tire on, it should be real easy finagling. Beauteous. All right, now once you put the front tire on, watch out your bike don't do endo. So pull her a little bit back, and there you are. So, and then you can put your end caps on. You can wipe whatever grease popped out. You might have a little bit here and there, no big deal. And those just thread in the ends like so. Let's turn and we will do the other side. All right, so now it's nice and greasy. I believe this is, yep. So this is gonna be your 19. Just because I don't have any grip. I'm just gonna use the wrench real quick. Tighten those down nice and tight. A little bit of grease will come out. All right, now you got these 4 screws right here. You want to tighten each one just a little bit at a time so that each one, you know, secures the next one. So get it all, you know, at least finger tight first with the long end. All right, now you're going to go back and forth. So do this one, quarter turn, and then do the next one, quarter turn. And you'll notice, you know, once you do one, the other one will loosen up a little bit, and then you can tighten it and then go back to the other guy. It'll be a little looser, and you know, there will become a point where, all right, those are nice and tight. Now let's go to the other side. All right, quarter turns. Beautiful. I'll tell you what, those hydraulic brakes work excellent. The modal style brakes on this is just, you know, in my opinion, it's a must-have. You gotta have it. You know, go fast, absolutely. Stop quickly is also a positive. So let's check her out. All right, we're starting to look like a bike now. Whew. All right, so take the rear suspension apart and we can replace it with our new stuff. All right. You pull this bolt, let it hang just for a bit. Now let's see what else we have to take apart here. So, ooh, that's a lot. Ooh, that's a lot. All right, here we go. So, first things first, let's take off our protective layer here. I'll tell you, this is really a beautiful bike, you know. All right, so as I'm looking at this, it looks like it's gonna be a 12 millimeter. I could be wrong, might be a 13. And it's gonna be one of these guys here. So let's see what we can do here. Is it 13? Ooh, it is a 13. All right, my eyes had deceived me. So what I'm doing right now is we've got some cool suspension parts that we'd like to put in here. And what I'm gonna do is take this stuff off and put the new stuff on. So here's what we're doing right now. Yeah, that's a neoprene washer or neoprene nut. So now make sure you put all your stuff where you know you're gonna remember it. Okay, now let's see. I think this is gonna be the next guy here. So usually you're gonna wanna hold the other side, but I had a feeling these weren't in too tight. There's a couple bolts that just need to come out here. So throw that over here. So now these are free. So I'm gonna guess that, yeah. All right, now that we've got those undone, let's see if we can't get this undone here. Forgot about the kickstand sensor. All right, guys, so it looks like my camera cut out halfway through the video. What I had to do was I took off these two bolts on each side, the foot brackets and so I could get to the suspension nuts down here, these bolts down here. And so inside of here, there's a metal washer and a neoprene washer. And on the inside, in between here, I don't think you're gonna be able to see it, but in between the frame and the suspension bracket, there's also a neoprene washer that's got to go in between there on both sides. That was a little tricky, but once you figure it out, it's not a big deal. Also, when you're putting this in, connect this before you put it in here, just because you're gonna have a hard time getting this bolt through. Obviously, there's no room. And always remember, Loctite things you don't want shaking loose, guys. That's really important. And we are going to make sure everything is nice and Loctite up. So throw your bolt through. You see how I did that? I put this back down in here first. Move your, all right, where are we at? Come on now. There it is. All right. So now that we got that in there, we'll hit with the blue, the lock TZ. Now I know that, and let's see here, how are we doing this? We're just gonna lift her up. Now, when I originally put this in, I had these flipped around so that the nut was on the top. The bolt, I should say, bolt hole was on the top. I flipped these back around because I'm about 6 foot, 200 and something pounds here, two maybe 10. And I would like to get a little bit more ride height out of it just to see what it's hitting for. So I adjusted this down. So we'll see what that does, and I can always go back and change it. But I just wanted to let you guys know that that's what's going on here. All right, now make sure you guys are putting the right stuff on in the right places. So the shorty goes up top and the longer one goes in the middle. Just so you guys are clear. So we're gonna set this longer one. You gotta put the head down first to get her through. She slides in. We are going to be ordering a titanium rear end bolt kit for this in the near future here. I just don't like how the way it does not match. Now it's just as simple as a couple dabs on. Like I said, these are neoprene washers that go on here. I'm almost positive I don't need to do this. However, better safe than sorry, right? So toss that right on there, and I make sure I got those parts on order. So cool. When you guys get done, it should look something like this, depending on your adjustments. So looking good. Now let's reassemble our foot bracket pegs. All right, guys, so I'm having a couple of issues with memory on my phone. So going forward, I do have a GoPro, and I will be using a GoPro from here on out. But I just want to show you guys The rear linkage is all put back together. My cockpit is looking decent. I just want to make sure I have access to all of my components. And I think I would like this brake to be a little further down. Just a touch. Let's see. There we go. I don't want to reach too far down for it, but let's get that brake reservoir level at least. All right, so I'm not reaching too far down for it. All right, very nice. All right, let's take off drink wrap. I've seen these things put together by a bunch of different people, but ooh, nothing does it justice like the real thing. Ain't nothing doing it justice like in the first person. Now in the future, I have the gold axle blocks pegs, and I'm thinking about getting some anodized gold drop brackets here for the pegs. Speaking of pegs, let's see if we got enough memory to put those on. All right, so put the pegs on. It's pretty straightforward. There are brackets, or pins I should say. There are pins that allow you to put them right in. Slides right in. The grease, baby. Are they not 15? They are not. They are a 16. No, 18 it is. So let's go around, check and see. All right, chain's looking nice. Okay, beauteous. Everything is looking nice. Go around, I went around and I checked, made sure everything was tight. All right, so here's what I'm doing with the mount. I'm mocking it up right here so I know where to tighten down my mount bolts, right? Then I can take it off afterwards and put the screen in the back of the display case on. But first, I want to make sure that my mounting brackets will clear the direct mount step. So there we go. All right, so we got our glass in. Let us see if we can't get this in. Looks about right to me. I did get this was a little too touchy. I needed both hands. I couldn't film, and I need a camera person. So on my next video, I might have a camera person for me, but I turned our main breaker on. Our battery is full up. Let's just check and make sure. Come on. All right. So our main breaker is on. We have 100% battery. All right, now, ooh, let's go. All right, 0 miles. All right, is that military time? Okay, all right. We'll fix it, we'll fix it. Now let's see, taking it out of park. Call me Popeye. We got spinach, baby. Let's go. All right, successful video, successful put together, successful assembly. Wait, we gotta put the old number plate on there. All right, guys, I threw the number plate on, and that's looking pretty nice, if I do say so myself. So we'll just throw some zip ties on there. And you know what? I'm thinking about possibly leaving the front fender off just to try and blend in with traffic. But this guy's gotta go on. So I will put that on, and I'm gonna put it on. All right, well, I'll show you guys in a second here. Thank you guys so much for watching the assembly video today. I've got a lot more parts coming for this bike, and in the future, I promise you my camera work will be better. Other than that, this is High Voltage Buffalo, New York. And if you ain't ripping, you're tripping.